There are places on this planet that test you, pushing you to your absolute limits. Places where survival is a constant battle against the elements. Not just your body, which is battered by the relentless cold, but your mind and spirit, which are slowly eroded by the isolation and the sheer bleakness of the surroundings. Vorkuta is one of those places, a name that conjures images of hardship and resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity. Vorkuta, a name whispered among hardened adventurers, a place that demands respect and preparation. Deep in the Russian Arctic, far from civilization and any semblance of comfort, it's a city built on bones, a testament to human suffering and the brutal realities of the past. Once you see it, once you experience its oppressive atmosphere, it never really leaves you. It burrows into your memory, a constant reminder of the darkness that humanity is capable of. The danger here isn't just physical, the threat of frostbite or the treacherous terrain. It's psychological, a constant battle against despair and the weight of history. A heavy, chilling presence clings to the air, a palpable sense of sorrow and loss that permeates every corner of the city. This isn't a typical expedition, a simple quest for adventure or exploration. It's a journey into the heart of a human tragedy, a pilgrimage to a place where countless lives were sacrificed in the name of ideology. The stories from Vorkuta are about endurance, about the human spirit's capacity to withstand unimaginable suffering, not about triumph or glory. I've faced jungles and deserts, conquered mountains and navigated treacherous seas. But Vorkuta is a different beast, a challenge unlike any other I have encountered. The cold seeps deeper than your bones. It penetrates your soul, leaving you with a lingering sense of unease. The challenge is as much mental as physical, a test of your ability to withstand the psychological weight of this haunted place. You come seeking adventure, drawn by the allure of the unknown and the promise of a unique experience. But find something far more unsettling: the ghosts of history, the lingering echoes of suffering that permeate every corner of this desolate city. The weight of countless souls, the memory of their struggles and their sacrifices. Who built this city in brutal conditions, under the most inhumane circumstances, is everywhere, a constant reminder of the price of progress. The journey itself is a warning, a testament to the remoteness and the inherent dangers of this forsaken place. Days of travel through emptiness, across a landscape that stretches to the horizon with nothing but snow and ice. Ending with a train ride on the road of bones, a chilling reminder of the human cost of this city's creation. Every mile of track is said to have cost a life, a grim testament to the suffering endured by those who were forced to build it. As you approach, isolation sets in, a feeling of being utterly alone in a vast and unforgiving wilderness. There's no turning back. You've committed to this journey and you must see it through to the end. The landscape is unforgiving, a stark and desolate expanse that offers no comfort or respite. A white expanse broken by skeletal remains of industry, the rusting hulks of machinery that stand as silent witnesses to a bygone era. Even before you arrive, you feel Vorkuta's reputation, the weight of its history, pressing down on you. A place of mystery and profound sadness, a city shrouded in secrets and haunted by the ghosts of the past. The Vorkuta Ring, abandoned mining settlements that encircle the city like a ghostly necklace, are monuments to collapsed dreams, silent testaments to the failed promises of a utopian ideal. These aren't just empty buildings, mere shells of concrete and steel. They're tombs, holding echoes of lives lost, the silent screams of those who perished within their walls. This expedition isn't about conquering nature, about planting a flag or claiming victory over the elements. It's about confronting a chilling chapter of human history, about bearing witness to the consequences of ideology and the resilience of the human spirit. Vorkuta is a test of resilience, a crucible that forges strength and reveals the true nature of those who dare to venture within its borders, leaving an indelible mark on anyone who dares to make the journey. A scar that serves as a constant reminder of the darkness and the light that resides within us all. Location defines the challenge, a stark and unforgiving environment that tests the limits of human endurance. Vorkuta sits 100 miles north of the Arctic Circle, a geographical marker that signifies entry into a realm of extreme conditions. This is a cold that can kill in minutes, a deep freeze that penetrates everything. The city sprawls across the Komi tundra, a seemingly endless expanse of frozen earth, with no mountains or forests for shelter, leaving it completely exposed to the elements. The landscape offers no respite. In winter, temperatures drop to -50 Celsius, a bone-chilling cold that freezes exposed skin almost instantly. The wind is relentless, whipping across the open tundra with ferocious intensity. The sun disappears for months, plunging the region into an extended period of darkness, plunging the city into polar night, a time when the world is cloaked in perpetual twilight. The darkness is psychological as much as physical, casting a long shadow over the lives of the residents. The air bites at your lungs, each breath a painful reminder of the extreme cold. The silence is broken only by wind or crunching snow, sounds that amplify the feeling of isolation. Vorkuta wasn't built for beauty. Its architecture is functional and utilitarian. It was built to be inescapable, a remote outpost designed to contain and control. The tundra is a natural prison. Its vastness and desolation discourage any thoughts of escape. Escape means death, a grim reality that underscores the city's isolation. That grim origin is baked into the city's foundations, a constant reminder of its past. Locals joke, winter is 10 months, the rest is summer. A wry observation on the region's climate. A harsh reality, one that demands resilience and adaptability. The permafrost is ever present, a layer of permanently frozen ground that underlies the entire region. Buildings stand on stilts to avoid melting the ground, a testament to the challenges of building in such an environment. Life here is shaped by the elements, a constant negotiation with the forces of nature, and the city's isolation, a feeling of being cut off from the rest of the world. Vorkuta is connected to the world by a single railway, a lifeline that brings essential supplies and connects the city to the mainland, and an often closed airport, a reminder that travel in and out of the city is not always guaranteed. No roads lead in or out, reinforcing the sense of remoteness and detachment. This is the edge of the world, a place where the human spirit is tested to its limits. Supplies are limited, requiring careful planning and resourcefulness. Self-reliance is essential, a necessary skill for survival in this isolated environment. The city's design as a labor camp still defines it today, a legacy that is both visible and deeply felt. The isolation fosters a tight-knit community where neighbors depend on each other for support and companionship, but also a sense of being trapped, a feeling that can be difficult to escape. In Vorkuta, the outside world feels distant, almost mythical, a place that exists only in stories and dreams. To truly understand Vorkuta, you must first understand its origins, its very birth. It's a place steeped in history, a history that's both fascinating and deeply disturbing. It wasn't built by free men and women, but by prisoners, by those who had been stripped of their liberty and forced to labor under unimaginable conditions. Vorkuta was a notorious and central hub of Stalin's Gulag system, a vast network of forced labor camps that stretched across the Soviet Union. It became synonymous with suffering and oppression. The city's existence was inextricably linked to the discovery of coal deposits in the region during the 1930s. This discovery sealed the fate of countless individuals. No one came willingly to this desolate place. It was a destination of despair, a one-way ticket to hardship, and often death. Under the iron fist of the Soviet regime, tens of thousands of prisoners were systematically sent to Vorkuta, their lives irrevocably altered. Among them were political dissidents, those who dared to question the authority of the state, or who were simply caught in the gears of political paranoia. Intellectuals, writers, artists, anyone deemed a threat to the Soviet ideology found themselves exiled to this remote corner of the world. And ordinary citizens, swept up in the arbitrary cruelty of the system, were forced to mine coal deep underground, enduring brutal and inhumane conditions. They faced grueling 12 to 16-hour shifts, were given starvation rations that barely sustained life, and were provided with inadequate clothing to protect them from the harsh Arctic climate. Unsurprisingly, many succumbed to the relentless demands of the work and the environment, dying from sheer exhaustion. Malnutrition was rampant, weakening bodies and leaving them vulnerable to disease. And for some, death came swiftly and brutally through execution, a stark reminder of the power the state held over their lives. The vast, unforgiving tundra itself served as the real prison, an inescapable barrier that isolated Vorkuta from the rest of the world. For those who dared to dream of escape, the reality was grim. Escape meant almost certain death in the frozen wasteland. Over the decades, it's estimated that over 1 million prisoners passed through the gates of Vorkuta's labor camps, each with their own story of suffering and resilience. Of that million, hundreds of thousands perished within its confines, their bodies buried in unmarked graves, their stories largely forgotten. The city of Vorkuta, in a chilling testament to its history, was literally built atop mass graves, the final resting place for so many victims of the Gulag. Every stretch of railway that connects Vorkuta to the outside world, every building that stands within its borders, is a potential grave marker, a silent reminder of the human cost of its creation. After Stalin's death in 1953, a major uprising occurred within the Vorkuta Gulag, a desperate act of defiance against years of oppression. The prisoners, emboldened by the changing political landscape, demanded better living conditions, an end to the arbitrary violence, and a semblance of justice. The authorities, unwilling to cede control, responded with brutal force, deploying tanks and opening fire on the unarmed prisoners. Hundreds were killed in the ensuing massacre, their hopes for a better future crushed beneath the weight of Soviet power. While the rebellion was ultimately suppressed, it marked the beginning of the end for the Gulag system, a crack in the foundation of Soviet oppression. Though the Gulag is gone, its legacy remains deeply etched in the landscape and the collective memory of Vorkuta. Vorkuta is not just a city struggling to survive in a harsh environment. It's a monument, a living testament to an atrocity that should never be forgotten. Its grand Soviet buildings, imposing and austere, stand on the bones of the forgotten, a constant reminder of the human cost of ideology. The shadow of the Gulag still lingers in every corner of Vorkuta, a palpable presence that shapes the city's identity and its future. Walking through Vorkuta today feels like stepping into a post-apocalyptic film set. The city is decaying after the Soviet collapse, the mines closed, and people left in droves. The population has more than halved, emptiness haunts the streets. Entire apartment blocks stand vacant, windows staring out at the tundra. The ghost rings, abandoned mining settlements are now deserted. Inside, time stands still, toys on floors, newspapers from the 90s, dishes in sinks. Silence is absolute, a heavy blanket over everything. Even in inhabited areas, decay is everywhere. Crumbling concrete, peeling paint, rusted playgrounds. The grand Soviet architecture now looks tired and defeated. Those who remain carry the weight of the city's past and uncertain future. Remnants of the Gulag camps still exist. Barbed wire, watchtower foundations, collapsed mines. These are not memorials, just ruins swallowed by the tundra. Standing here, you feel the raw connection to history, a place of immense suffering. The ghost of the Gulag still walks these frozen lands. The stories in Vorkuta bring the place to life, tales of hardship, survival, and loss. Dmitry, a former miner, told me his father helped build the city as a Gulag prisoner. For every brick, they whispered a curse on those who sent them. Many residents are descendants of prisoners or guards, their family histories forever tied to the camps. Travelers describe exploring abandoned apartments, finding family photos, and report cards, lives packed up and deserted. The silence is louder than any noise, the sadness is overwhelming. A photographer spoke of the weight in the air, the hopelessness that seeps in. Locals point out subtle dips in the tundra mass graves, unmarked and unmemorialized. Oral history is all that remains, stories of the Vorkuta uprising and blood-stained snow. Standing on this land, you're atop an unmarked cemetery for thousands. The experience changes you, connecting you to the past in a way no museum can. Vorkuta's stories are a raw, visceral link to history. Why do people regret visiting Vorkuta? It's not the cold, it's the emotional toll. The sadness seeps into you, lingering long after you leave. You expect adventure, but find yourself humbled by the scale of human tragedy. The city forces you to confront the darkest aspects of history, a heavy burden to carry. Many feel guilt, like disaster tourists in a place of suffering. The isolation, the crumbling buildings, the stories, they create a deeply unsettling atmosphere. You see resilience in the people, but also heartbreak. The regret comes from helplessness. You can't fix what's broken. Vorkuta leaves a scar on your memory. It's a pilgrimage, not a holiday. The real regret isn't going. It's that a place like Vorkuta has to exist at all. Despite the sadness, Vorkuta draws a certain kind of adventurer. It's the ultimate challenge for those seeking the world's most extreme, forgotten places. This isn't about climbing mountains. It's about psychological endurance. The appeal is its authenticity, raw, real, unfiltered. The ghost settlements are a playground for those fascinated by decay and history. The dangers are real. Extreme cold, structural collapse, isolation. Every decision matters. You're responsible for your own safety. Exploring Gulag remnants is not for the faint of heart. Finding a prisoner's shoe or barbed wire is a chilling encounter with the past. The mystery is part of the draw. Vorkuta is a city of secrets and unmarked graves. For some, piecing together its story is the ultimate prize. It's a quest for understanding in a place that defies easy explanation. Vorkuta is a siren's call for the bold, an unforgettable, deeply disturbing adventure. Survival in Vorkuta is a battle on two fronts. First, against the environment. Insulated boots, thermal layers, and respect for the cold are essential. Locals know how to read the weather and keep their homes warm. For visitors, the cold is the immediate challenge. Frostbite and hypothermia are constant threats. The second battle is with the past. The city's history is a living presence. Family trauma, inherited pain, and unspoken guilt. People live in apartments built by slave labor, walk streets named after Soviet heroes. Surviving means living with these contradictions every day. The people here are tough, enduring what would break most. They form a tight-knit community, sharing hardship and keeping stories alive. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit. But endurance comes at a cost. Weariness and sadness hang over the city. They've beaten the cold, but the battle with the past may never end. A journey to Vorkuta leaves a permanent mark. You return home, but part of you stays in that frozen city. The experience reshapes your perspective on comfort, history, and resilience. Vorkuta forces you to confront questions with no easy answers about memory, responsibility, and survival. Its beauty is haunting, born of endurance and tragedy. The city is a ghost, a warning, a story that demands to be told. Vorkuta is a mirror, showing us both cruelty and the power to endure. In its silence, it reminds us we must never forget.